GenC podcast. Welcome to the GenC podcast. I'm your host, JP Jackson, and today we have Sergio. Welcome, Sergio.
Hi there, JP. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
So nice that you came to us today. So
For
we're very
sure.
excited to have you here.
I mean, a couple of weeks ago, I was demanded to be here, and I'm finding out today that it was actually out of desperation.
Don't play me like that.
I want to throw you under the bus from the moment this podcast starts, bruh. I'm kidding. I'm really happy to be here.
So for those that do not know you, who is Sergio?
Ooh, okay. I'll tell you exactly who Sergio is. I have no idea. No, I'm kidding. Sergio is a young man who's trying to figure himself out. He wants, happiness and love and just excitement. And he wants the world to be what it should be. But also, as we grow up, realizing that it's not that way and you kind of consciously have to make it that way.
Yeah.
So, Sergio is someone who just wants to bring joy to the world, make people laugh.
Sergio's giving us quotes like right at the start.
Oh, I mean, that's legit who I am. If you want to know about me more, like practically, I guess, I am working in film and television. I have a big passion for creativity and the arts.
So where did that passion start, Sergio?
The passion for the arts, I don't know. I think my first early memory of like really being into arts and crafts and, creative ventures was when I was really young. The nanny at the time was looking after us while my mom was at work. She didn't really know how to entertain me. So what she'd do is she'd like take my mom's old work diaries and then give me a pen and then like plop me in front of the television and just made me like draw what I saw. And pretty soon I was like filling up books and books and books of like little squiggles and squiggles turned to drawings. And I think that kind of was the genesis of me exploring that side of myself. And I knew very early on that I was not going to be one for maths or science. I mean, my marks didn't really, prove that to me either. Yeah. So I knew that, the creative field was where I'm going to find myself. And that's where I am right now.
And then you decided to actually pursue it in your studying. So you went to AFDA.
Yes.
And what was that experience like? Because most of like the university experience that I've had is like at these major like UCT, Stellenbosch. And obviously AFDA is not that big, but still had a university.
There's 4 schools across the country. Get it right. But they aren't really big in terms of like university standards. Yes. But in terms of like creative schools, they are quite prominent in South Africa.
Yes.
So I'm going to have to backtrack on that question first.
Yes.
So at high school, it's obviously where we got to choose our subjects. And I went ahead and chose what many people would think would probably be the easiest subjects out there. I did CAT, I did visual arts, and I did consumer studies. And then I added some math light in there, just, keep things spicy. But those were the subjects that I took. And I always had an idea that I was going to pursue graphic design. And then when we had to go to, what is this thing called? Job shadowing.
Yeah.
In grade 11, I was like, okay, this is going to be confirmation of my dreams.
Yes.
Went there for 3 days, absolutely hated it. Couldn't stand the like office environment and hearing from people who are actual graphic designers that they get paid peanuts. And it was just a very big downer for me. Yeah. And by then I had already chosen my subjects. I was 1 year away from graduating high school. Like, where was I going to go? And AFDA's roadshow came to our school on career day and I saw what they were making and it was just like a light bulb went on, man. And I realized like, shit, this is what I'm like, so,
Yeah,
so, okay, I don't want you to get demonetized now.
We don't make no money.
Yet. So I decided, okay, cool, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Went home, spoke to my mom about it. Mom was knocked out the water because she thought, okay, we were going to do art, so we're going to do graphic design.
Yeah.
I said, no, mommy, this is what I want to do. She said, okay, my child, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
After school one day, we took a train together. We went to AFTA's varsity campus place in Salt River. And the dean took us around, and that's when I was really like, sure, this is really where I want to be. Then he gave my mom the prospectus and the fees.
Yeah.
Mom was like, ish, my child, I don't know, I don't know if you're going to be able to do this. But she was, I guess she saw the passion in my eyes, and she like saw, you know, how much I really wanted this. And she said that she's going to make a plan. Thankfully, I had a life orientation teacher at that same school. Hashtag Miss Kotze, Miss Abramse. Thank you. Shout out. She helped me with an application for a bursary, and I got full tuition for 4 years. And I sit now with an honors degree in film and media production. And it's really thanks to the passion and the dedication of these women who held my hand throughout the whole process and, you know, made my dream possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
So the graphic design, what pushed you away from that? What?
The money, like, yo, I mean,
we keep saying don't do things for money, and here you coming.
No, I think, you know, it's beautiful to say that you're going to pursue something for the fact that you're passionate about it, and I love that. But I also think that you should be paid for what you are worth. And unfortunately, in this country, you really have to fight tooth and nail to earn a living off of something that you're passionate about, and something that's not just part of, you know, the cog of capitalism. Not to put, you know, down anyone who's a doctor or a nurse or
an accountant.
Or an accountant. Don't have Will Smith slap to the face. But I think that, you know, a lot of artists are not getting paid what they're worth, and they're bringing so much beauty to the table. And unfortunately, also a lot of artists in this country are queer people and are people of color. And it's just also sad to see things like a simple thing like you are working at a firm where your art and your talent is being paid for, but you don't get medical aid. Or you don't get retirement. I think these are conversations that we as artists need to have and need to start demanding more. Because it's not the norm, you know? And so with these choices to pursue something that you're passionate about, you also have to keep in mind your worth and being able to fight for your worth. And that's something that I've had to learn the hard way, because I was earning peanuts in the beginning for a degree that cost, you know, so much. Although I had my tuition covered for, doesn't mean that it was easy to start a life off earning what I did. So yeah, not to make things about money, but we really should get paid what we deserve.
So you alluded to in one of our previous discussions that when you joined AFTA, you were one of 5 colored people in that year.
How did you know this? I feel like we spoke about this.
So you were one of 5 colored people.
Very few.
And then what was that experience like?
It was unnerving in the beginning because the school that I came from, the environment that I came from, my home situation, like everyone looked like me. So it's not necessarily something that I had prepared myself for. And I think for a lot of us, like walking into the university atmosphere, it's the first time you get exposed to people who are vastly different from you. And so in the beginning, we huddled together, you know, we tried to retain as much of ourselves as we could at school. But it also opened my eyes to, you know, the big diversity that is out there and stuff. And a lot of people at AFTA like came from very affluent environments. Like I remember running after the train in the rain to get to school. And then, you know, a classmate of mine would pull up in a Mini Cooper, grab our bags and just... I'm like, we don't have the worst day. I'm just like, yeah, sure. But also like it reminded me of how privileged I also am, like to be one of the few people who... I probably wouldn't have been there if it
Yeah.
wasn't for, the sacrifices that were made by others for me to get there. So I felt blessed and honored in a way, but also it was, like I said, very unnerving to be in that situation where I'm a minority, Yeah.
And I'm a very big believer in visual representation. So you guys were like, you said you were one of the first 5 in your, you were 5 in your year, but there would have been multiple people behind you that see you guys going through it. And it's almost like it makes it more real.
Yes.
And that, you can get there instead of it being like, oh, you can aspire to be there.
Yes.
And then for me, that's very important. Also, one of the reasons we started this
Yes.
is to have this like visual aid to show you, yo, this guy's an accountant. This guy's in film and media. This is how you can do it.
Yes.
And yes, you can.
You absolutely can, man. Like, we are that generation of, it's possible, and it's possible based off of where we come from and the people that we come from, but also like where we see ourselves and what we want to make out of our experience. So I definitely thank you also for this platform. Like, it's really important that we have this conversation as colored people. Why are you giving
No, because I love it, because
bro.
you can save your cues for the end.
No, I will. But I'm just saying, like, I'm appreciating what you are doing. And I think that as this generation of colored people, being now at a space and a time in our life where younger colored people are now looking up to us and like seeing that it's possible and stuff, I think that is amazing, and it's a big mantle to take on. I mean, I have like family members like texting me on Facebook and on Instagram sometimes, like saying that, their niece wants to also pursue like a career in film and television. Like, how do I make it possible? And I can only I can't say no to that, because someone who came before me saw my passion and said, okay, I'm going to help you apply for this. I'm going to help you get through this. So who am I to deny someone else that opportunity? I have to pay it forward.
And a lot of the times we feel like that's too far away. Like, we feel like you won't be willing to help me, or because you're already there. And almost like these gatekeeping aspects, like, oh, because I'm successful, you're successful, it should only stay with me. Whereas we need to break that up and be like, this is how I did it.
Exactly.
Step for step, this is what I did. And so that you too can have the option of doing it.
Who wants to be the minority in like a space? Like, I walked into after thinking, okay, there's at least going to be like half. I mean, we're in Cape Town, we're in Salt River. Oh my goodness, we are the brown people. But that was not the case. And so obviously us being able then to open doors for other people who want to be in the same space, like, we should absolutely do that. And it harkens back to the conversation we had before this podcast started recording, where we were basically speaking about like, you shouldn't get to a point where you need to ask. Like, if someone sees a need, you should then assert yourself and like be able to help them without them always needing to ask. But at the same time, there comes a point, especially in the working space, where you're not always going to get what you want because you just want it. You have to ask. And the worst that someone can say, the worst that they can do is no. You're gonna live.
And does your life change? But
no, you probably expected it. So like, you're gonna be fine, but you asked, and they know where you stand, and they know what your desires are. So somewhere along the line, they might just answer your question. Might not be now, but you asked.
So you then move into an actual production from after. So you were part of the Hectic 99 crew for so long.
For like 3-4 years.
So what was it like going from almost a theoretical, practical schooling production to a full-on show that now gets displayed on our national broadcaster?
So before Hectic 99, I was lucky enough to have my first job be in a comedy like atmosphere. I was working for this show called Zan News Puppet Nation. I don't know if anyone out there knows what it is, but it's basically like a satire on our political what do we even call it? Like chaos that is politics
in South Africa.
Exactly. And that was for me amazing, because it almost solidified that you can absolutely walk into a space and be where you should be. You know, you don't, because what we were taught was, okay, you want to be a director, you want to be an actor, but you're going to start off serving coffee.
Yeah.
You're going to start off running around bashing cables. That's what you're going to do. But I was lucky enough to like just walk into a space and start writing immediately, because writing is one of the subjects that I majored in. And then after the show tanked, thanks DSTV, I then moved on to Hectic 99 and started working for the SABC, and that was chaotic in its own way. But I mean, I was also now a 20-something who had grown up on Hectic 99, had learned a lot from Hectic 99, and was now imparting into the show for a younger audience to then learn from, which was fantastic, you know. I complained about it a lot. My friends know that I did. But looking back, I was truly blessed to be on that platform and to have that power.
Yeah.
You know, they say the pen is mightier than the sword or something like that.
Yes.
Like that literally was the case for me, because what I said and what I thought and what I learned had value, because it was going out to the masses.
Yeah.
And then from there, I had an opportunity to work for Sewendelaan, which I was very excited about. And that was supposed to take place in Joburg last year. And
if you're comfortable.
Yes, getting there. A week before I was supposed to leave for Joburg to pursue this job, my mom caught the COVIDs, and it was very difficult on her. Like, she did not take to it well, and she ended up succumbing to her condition, which was very difficult and life-altering. I mean, that's the minimum, that's the least I can say about it, but it honestly changed me. I was still able to pursue that job and do it from Cape Town, having moved back with my dad and my brother, but it wasn't easy. Like, it was not what I envisioned this job to be. Like, it was supposed to be like, you know, my breakaway, an opportunity for me to grow in a different city. And grow I did. I grew a lot, but it also took a lot from me. Should I continue?
If you want to.
Okay.
So your mother was an
in the
amazing woman.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And had a major impact on your life.
Mm-hmm.
And having a go like that, like you said, was life-altering. What was the biggest thing you took from that?
Oh, wow. There's a bunch of things that I take from it. I think in hindsight now, the biggest thing that I take from it is really to cherish time with people in your life, whether you understand them or whether you don't always understand them. You have a finite time with the people in your life. And I'm so glad that I got to spend that last week in Cape Town, what was supposed to be the last week in Cape Town, with my mom. When she fell ill, it was around the end of December, beginning of January. And usually around that time, I would be, as many of us are, you know, out enjoying New Year's, you know, and I didn't get to spend Christmas with her because we were in the height of lockdown and stuff. But I got to spend New Year's Eve with her, which is something I haven't done in years. And I remember at the stroke of midnight, we popped open a bottle of champagne and we, you know, clinked each other into the new year. And we just watched the kids outside on the street firing up fireworks into the sky. And it's like burned into my memory because it's such a beautiful memory, you know, to welcome in 2021 with your mom. And I think that's one of my biggest takeaways is that, yes, I do regret that maybe I didn't spend as much time with her as I could have. But the times that I did spend with her was magical and memorable. And I mean, she just had such a way of like knowing who she was. And I want to adopt that in my life as well.
Definitely.
Yes.
Wow.
I need a sip of water. Okay.
So 2022, Sergio, involved in a local production of morning time show.
Are you not gonna?
I mean, you can say it. I mean, I don't want to.
It's my feel good breakfast show.
What's it been like working with such a catalog of just great South African stars?
Yes. It's been like 1 or 2 months into the journey now. It was very scary walking into a show as big as Expresso because it's something that many people wake up to. It's a whole different target audience to Hectic 99.
Yeah.
You know, but I have really like spread my wings and I'm so enjoying where I am right now. I think what I've done in the past has only built up my confidence and my skill set to a point where I know exactly what I'm doing, you know, and I'm not going to go ahead and say that I'm like the boss or whatever, but I kind of am. Yeah, and I think beyond just the amazing working environment and the pleasantness of the people, because you must remember, this is a morning show. People are up at like 4 o'clock, you know. Not everyone is the most pleasant at 4 o'clock, but the camaraderie of everyone just made it such a welcoming experience. And I feel like what I'm doing there is being so appreciated. On top of that, the people that I get to meet, okay, I should probably let you know. So I'm a content producer. I basically put the segments of the show together. So if JP is coming to the show to speak about the ins and outs of accounting, I have to go do some research. I have to find out who is JP. I have to find out if he's comfortable speaking on camera.
He also doesn't know who he is.
He is the host of the GenC podcast. That's who he is. But you know, I have to do all of those, like all of the moving parts. Essentially, I have to put it together, and every day is different. And the people that I get to meet, the people that I get to call up, it's like the stories that we have to tell in Cape Town, especially as bringing it back to the colored experience. Like I met a guy who is about to embark on a journey where he's crossing the Atlantic Ocean by himself in a catamaran, and he's a colored bra. And guess what his boat is called?
What?
Dala. Like that is, you know, the stories that I get to see, and it's so uplifting to not only, you know, be inspired by their story, but to be able to take their story and put it on a platform and like say, you little colored bra at home, you can do what this guy's doing. You can win Miss South Africa, little colored girl, because look, she's done it. Yes. You know, that's the beauty of like where I'm at right now.
And we really think that you're doing a great job. And for me, the greatest part is that you shining.
Thank you.
You genuinely enjoying what you're doing.
I am.
And that's amazing.
I really am.
So I'm going to hit you with some quick fire questions.
Sweet.
And based on your edits.
Lay it on me. My edits? Oh, you guys better make sure you edit this because it's coming from the top of my head. So, okay, I'm ready.
Knickknacks or Papa Bites?
Knickknacks.
Series or film?
Series.
Any which one you preferring at the moment?
Right now I'm trying to finish Schitt's Creek. I know most of my friends have finished it already, but I'm very slow when it comes to series. I'm almost done. Okay. Yeah, almost done.
Rap or R&B?
Rap.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, who's gonna listen to R&B at gym? Really?
Because games are important.
Gotta psych yourself up, you know? Yeah.
Island holiday or snow?
Island holiday. Okay. I'm an island boy.
So then the last one, and I think it's only fair that I ask you this. Burger King or McDonald's?
What is the meal that I'm going for?
Whichever one you want.
Okay, if we're going for the burger, I'll say Burger King. If we're going for the fries, McDonald's.
Political answer.
No, we have to. Dude, can I tell you once, I think it was a night of clubbing that we went to Long Street. I literally went to the McDonald's. I got fries there. I went to the Steers. I got a milkshake there. And I think I got the burger there as well. Well, I think I got the burger from...
combination.
No, I got Zinger Wings from KFC. All in one night. That shows you how passionate about food I am.
So if there's anything that you could tell your younger self, what would that be in a one-liner?
This is an episode of RuPaul's Drag Race. Because you know they usually do that, right? They pull up a younger picture of you.
Until Jody told me about it. And I was like, I can't have RuPaul coming off.
You are gonna be stripped of everything you have if Mama Ru finds this podcast. I'm telling you that. But there's a few things I tell little Sergio. Firstly, I'd say, like, regardless of what happens to you, dude, you're gonna be very proud of the man that you become. Try to drown out the opinions or perceived opinions of other people.
Oh, wow.
Because it really doesn't matter. Like, even walking into here, I was like so concerned about like, oh my God, am I going to give off the right impression? Am I going to, be coherent? But really, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. What you think of yourself, that's top tier. And that's what you should keep in mind.
Amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Sergio. Thank you for coming out and for making the time to speak about yourself and giving our audience another look into the behind the scenes of what content creation.
For sure. I mean, I scratched my car to get here. So it's got to be worth something.
If you like the content, like, share, subscribe, and we're out. Peace.
Peace.